Apple has let slip the date of its own iPhone 17 announcement. Mark it on your calendar today. There have been a lot of interesting and exciting iPhone leaks lately, such the design of the iPhone 17 Pro and features that we might see. But most of the time, Apple keeps its things to itself, so not much is known for sure. Apple is usually very private and discreet, but today they made a mistake and disclosed the date of the special iPhone 17 event, September 9, 2025. There have been rumors that this date might be it, but now Apple is confirming it with an invitation that was mistakenly put to the Apple TV app. The invite was swiftly withdrawn, but not before it was seen and made public. The invite's look is similar to the original MacBook Air wallpaper. This is perhaps a hint about the new super slim iPhone 17 Air, which is anticipated to come out this year and take the place of the iPhone 17 Plus. The iPhone 17 series is reported to consist of a base iPhone 17, which should appear like your typical iPhone, the iPhone 17 Air, which is the S25 Edge super slim opponent, and the Pro-branded iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. The rear of the latter is said to be getting a big overhaul, which was confirmed earlier by dbrand's new case. We also expect the Apple Watch Series 11 to be during the presentation, along with the new phones. Potentially, Apple may also give us a successor to its robust luxury smartwatch, the Apple Watch Ultra 2. As for the phones, they are likely to come in various new colors, including an eye-catching orange for the Pro iPhone 17 and sporting iOS 26 with its new liquid glass design. The iPhone 17 phones may arrive with a price rise of roughly $50, but the iPhone 17 Pro is likely to make the price hike appear less onerous by eliminating the 128 GB storage option and beginning at 256 GB. The iPhone 17 series will fight for the title of the best flagship of 2025 with the Galaxy S25 lineup and the recently introduced Pixel 10 series. I'm personally psyched for the Apple event, and I find it hilarious that out of everyone, Apple itself would leak their own event. The corporation has been so secretive and confrontational when it comes to leaks, even trying to sue leakers, and yet, not even Apple is perfect. Iconic Phones is arriving this fall. Good news, everyone! Over the past year, we've been working on an amazing passion project of ours, and we're delighted to say it will be ready to release in just a few short months. Iconic Phones, Revolution at Your Fingertips, is a must-have coffee table book for every tech head that will bring you on a journey to revisit the greatest technological transformation of the 21st century. The iPhone 17 is expected to feature Apple's camera control key, but that could be the last we see of it, as we're hearing that the iPhone 18 may not contain Apple's touch-sensitive button. The camera control was launched on the iPhone 16 last year and was a big element of the marketing for all four phones in the series. But according to leaker Baby Sauce Ovo on Weibo, due to limited usage and the cost of adding the control to iPhones, Apple has told suppliers it will be suspending orders for camera control parts. It's not obvious how legitimate this assumption is, as Baby Sauce Ovo made various claims about the iPhone 16 ahead to its introduction last year, some of which proved out to be false. We'll need to see other leakers with stronger track histories to feel confident in this claim. The iPhone 17 could be the last iPhone with this contentious feature. The camera control is more versatile than the name suggests, working both as a shutter button and navigation tool for moving through camera options, with a shortcut to the camera app or visual intelligence. It can be handy, but can also get in the way depending on how you're holding the iPhone. You don't have to search long to find Reddit threads loaded with folks both praising and criticizing the camera control. Apple does alter its mind regarding features on its products, but looking through its product history, these adjustments generally take longer to materialize. For example, the much-loathed MacBook Touch Bar was around for 5 years before Apple began to switch it out for standard function keys again. And in terms of iPhones, the action button, which replaced the mute slider, shows no signs of fading, despite some users preferring the more traditional controller. We'll only get a definite response about what the iPhone 18 will do to the camera control next year, although there will undoubtedly be tons of leaks before that. Next month, we'll see the iPhone 17, iPhone 17 Air, iPhone 17 Pro, and iPhone 17 Pro Max, according to the rumors, and we think we have a pretty decent idea about the iPhone 17 release date. There were speculations that Apple might utilize the more modern M14 OLED materials for the iPhone 15 series, offering all four models enhanced attributes when it comes to panel technology. However, according to the current rumor, the latest family has the M12 display, with the M14 projected to be adopted for 2 generations, starting with the iPhone 16 and concluding with the iPhone 17. The M14 OLED technology is expected to be adopted for 2 generations as Apple intends to conserve costs when it comes to the iPhone 16 and iPhone 17. In the latest rumor, Revegnus points out that with the iPhone 16 and iPhone 17, Apple aims to use the M14 OLED panel, providing them advantages over the competition. The tipster has not indicated where he discovered across this information, but it will not be surprising for the California-based corporation to retain the same panel technology for 2 iPhone generations. For one example, there may not be any discernible changes or perks between M14 and M15, while the cost may be much greater, or Apple wishes to economize on superfluous charges and employ those resources on other higher-end components. For those who do not know, the acronyms M12, M13, and M14 correspond to the red, green, and blue pixels dopant, host, and prime elements in OLED displays, with each iteration enhancing color reproduction, accuracy, brightness, and power efficiency. The iPhone 15 utilizes the M12 technology, and with the iPhone 16 and iPhone 17 getting treated to the M14, we should expect the aforementioned advancements. In a recent bill of materials analysis, it was determined that the iPhone 15 Pro Max costs $37 and 7 cents more than the iPhone 14 Pro Max to build, with savings coming from the DRAM, flash memory, and display. By adopting an M12 OLED screen instead of an M13 one, Apple may have saved considerably on the display area. However, a near $40 rise is still huge, considering the technology giant is anticipated to create the iPhone 15 Pro Max in the millions. Undoubtedly, the iPhone 16 and iPhone 17 are expected to launch with even higher internal specifications, and employing the M14 OLED instead of M15 may help Apple to focus its resources towards mass producing a better camera system, an enhanced A-series silicon, or a more robust titanium shell. However, remember that there is no means of authenticating Revegnus' statements, or where he even received this information from, so we recommend readers accept this rumor with a pinch of salt for now. As I was watching the Made by Google event yesterday, August 20, I couldn't help but notice that Rick Osterloh, Google's senior VP of Platforms and Devices, made a not-so-subtle dig at Apple. When addressing the state of AI on phones with host Jimmy Fallon, Osterloh highlighted that there's been a lot of broken promises. He's talking, of course, to Apple's long-delayed updated version of Siri. You know, the one that's meant to be more personal, more relevant, and enable you voice control your apps. That's not coming until 2026. Meanwhile, Google is already there, and then some, with Gemini on the Pixel 10. And it recently unveiled a dazzling array of AI features that put Apple to shame. For both Apple and Google to remain relevant in the open AI era, I'd suggest that they need to come together and combine their strengths, hardware and AI, with a partnership, not a merger, or they could both be left behind. Some of my favorite new AI capabilities coming to Google phones are Ask Photos. You can just tell your phone, or type, what modifications you want to see in your photographs, and presto, the Pixel 10, Pixel 10 Pro, and Pixel 10 Pro Fold will just do it for you. Another iWow arrives in the form of Magic Queue. No more bouncing between apps to get the info you need. If you call to change your plane reservation, the flight info will pop right up on the call screen. Or if someone asks you to share images from your recent hiking trip, a button will show up in your conversation and lead you right to them. Apple doesn't have anything like these features in iOS 26, and I doubt something this spectacular will be coming with the iPhone 17 series. Although I hear we're getting a wider camera bar on the iPhone 17 Pro and an extremely slim iPhone 17 Air. The difficulty for Google is that their phone market share is minuscule, like really little. In July, Canalys claimed that the Pixel's market share was a staggering 3% in the US, and that's a 13% increase year over year. Part of the difficulty is that Google's hardware prowess is nowhere near as good as its software smarts. Just take a look at the new Pixel 10 Pro Fold. It's very clever and achieves IP68 water and dust resistance, but it's significantly chunkier than the Z Fold 7. Apple is better at industrial design, and I can guarantee you that the iPhone Fold hardware will be superior should it debut next year as projected. So, while this may sound absurd, I think Apple and Google should work up. And I'm serious when I suggest that it could be a matter of survival. Looming on the horizon for both Google and Apple is OpenAI, which is promoting its first hardware product that's planned to come this year. It's not going to be a phone, but when you have 800 million weekly users of ChatGPT, and that new device is being created by none other than legendary ex-iPhone designer Jony Ive, there's major cause for concern. To be fair, the new GPT-5 has had some reaction, so Sam Altman is human after all. But it is really a potent model and blew away Gemini in our GPT-5 versus Gemini face-off. OpenAI has become synonymous with AI, and Google is playing significant catch-up. One recent research states that ChatGPT's market share is 60% among AI chatbots, compared to just 13.5% for Gemini. Apple isn't even on the list. For Apple's part, there's been claims that Tim Cook is willing to spend big to partner to acquire AI technology or startups to restart its efforts, and names like Perplexity and Claude have been circulated. But I feel like Apple's best hope is to latch on to Gemini right now before it's too late. What's the solution? So what would that mean? The US Federal Trade Commission would never authorize a merger like this between two titans. It would become an instant monopoly. But I do think Apple should develop a strategic agreement with Google so that iPhone customers may take full use of Gemini and all of Google's other AI technologies. Yes, Google has come under examination by the Justice Department for the billions it's been paying Apple to make Google the default search engine on iPhones. But this would not be a one-way or even an exclusive deal necessarily. What I'm imagining here would offer Google more access to Apple's services and break down the walled garden. Maybe in exchange for access to Gemini and other AI goodies on the iPhone, Android phones may acquire access to iMessage, iCloud, AirDrop, and more. Maybe AirPods could suddenly pair with Pixel phones and other Android phones. And Apple might theoretically open things up so that iPhone customers could swap Siri with other AI helpers, so it didn't look as like this was an exclusive relationship. Let options like Claude and Perplexity in too, along with Gemini. Right now, Siri works with ChatGPT, and you can argue that it only does great things when it invokes OpenAI Assistant. The existential menace. It might not seem like it right now, but Google and Apple face existential dangers. Apple is losing market share to the likes of Samsung, which is pushing harder into foldable phones. And there's a very real possibility of the smartphone itself becoming less important at the hands of new technologies like smart glasses and whatever OpenAI is cooking up with Ive. And Google is just not excellent at hardware, sorry, as a whole generation of individuals turns to ChatGPT first instead of search engines. And imagine how much better a set of Apple glasses would sell with Gemini inside than whatever Google is developing right now. So Apple and Google, both long-term foes, need to become pals, fast, or it could be game over for them both. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. And goodbye.